is up, you guys? Brooke here. Today we are drinking some tea, and it's tea out of a mug that I feel is so fitting for today's video because it's my Wonder Riding Retreat Minneapolis mug that I got from my writer's retreat this summer. Bunch of me and my writing sisters share this little mug to make us feel a little bit more closer together, and it just makes me feel oh so good whenever I'm drinking from it. So today's video is probably a topic that most of you knowing people who keep up with the AuthorTube community are probably somewhat aware about. There's been a few videos going around where people are addressing certain, not so much concerns, but more so just points that they were wanting to talk about. A few weeks back, there were some AuthorTubers who had come up with videos where they were talking about spilling the AuthorTube tea, which I thought is kind of funny because there for a long time, like this summer actually, I figured out like what spilling the tea meant. I was very oblivious to this type of phrase. I figured out that it pretty much said spilling the drama. We're spilling the drama here while sipping tea. Don't know how this originated, but it did, and it's a thing. And so let's talk about this thing with AuthorTube and spilling tea. These videos that were made a while back, they had addressed some, once again, concerns. They pretty much were wanting to address a couple things that we had never really talked about in this AuthorTube community here, because AuthorTube has relatively been small and it's starting to grow over time, and I love how it's starting to grow. Now that we've kind of had this flow of knowing how to work AuthorTube and like what all comes with all this stuff, we're starting to see lots of pros and cons because of this platform that we all have here now. And I'm not here to hate on these videos that had gone about with the spilling of the tea, but I am kind of wanting to dive into cleaning up said tea. I am not one for drama, so don't think that I am trying to spread any drama, any hate here, because that's not happening in my video today. Today, I am more so an old-fashioned hippie who just wants peace and love.
Why can't everyone just get along?
I'm not going to be talking about every single point that all these videos have gone and talked about. I'm not going to address all of them because I feel like some aren't so concerning, but there are some that I was wanting to talk about myself here. One of the main things I was wanting to hit upon in this video was the talk of productivity. I do agree with what has been said of talking about how AuthorTube has kind of pushed some people to be more productive in an overly done way. Everyone lives a different life, and with that comes different responsibilities that we all have. There's lots of writers out there who, especially here on AuthorTube, who say that if you want to write as a career, then you need to put writing as like it's a job, which I am totally gung-ho for. Oh my gosh, I kind of do think that makes sense. If you're wanting this to be a career, then treat it already like it's your career. I do agree with that, but I will say that that is not always the case all the time, because like I said, life happens and life gets in the way of writing, and so sometimes you just kind of have to put writing on pause. And if you do put writing on pause, whether it be for your own personal mental health, or if it's because there's something going on in your life where there's just, you have to have something been put to the side and you chose that to be writing, but then you're seeing people in the writing community talking about how you have to be putting writing first, I can understand of how that would be somewhat, what's a good word here? I can understand how that could put a damper on your writing things. So I can understand both sides of things. I can understand these AuthorTube tea spilling videos of where they're saying how you shouldn't be expected to have productivity always be in high demand for writing your book, because sometimes there are things that will get in the way of your writing, or you just may have a different writing process in general where you might be slower at writing compared to others who are a little bit faster and quicker. So I totally get that. You can do your own pace of writing. That is totally understandable. I totally agree with that you don't always have to be writing all the time. But I do think that AuthorTube is so beneficial for lots of people out there because it does push you to do more than what you had expected yourself to accomplish. One of the best parts about AuthorTube that I love in this community is that we push ourselves to do so much more than we ever thought we could. Like with NaNoWriMo. Last year, whenever I did NaNoWriMo, I did not do very well, and that was because I wasn't taking writing seriously, and I wasn't really a part of the writing community, really. I mean, I was vlogging it and I was posting videos and stuff, but I was not 100% in it. I was not in it to win it, and that's why I didn't win it. And because I am a lot more in the writing community now, I have learned to take my writing at a much more serious type of pace. So in that aspect, the people who are saying that you need to put writing first and that you need to be putting your writing as if it's a job, that aspect I do love, because if I didn't have these people who were pumping me up, making me think that I can believe in myself and that I can do this, then I wouldn't be as far into my book that I'm writing right now. My book would probably be a lot thinner as of right now. I mean, you can't really judge a book on its thickness and thinness because it's on Scrivener, but still, it would be in the very, very early chapters still. If I did not have these people pumping me up, telling me that I can do this and that I should be putting writing first, then there would be lots of days in the past where I probably wouldn't have been putting writing first and my book probably wouldn't have gotten anywhere. So with that being said, I totally love this idea too of people telling you to try and be really productive in your writing. There should be a really good happy medium in between of trying to have good productivity towards your book, but to where it's not going to be taking over everything, because life happens and sometimes you just have to let life win. Even though most of the time I want my book to win and win it all. Now I want to talk about writing tutorials on AuthorTube. These AuthorTube spilling the tea videos have been talking about that you should not preach what you do not do, which I totally understand, because I wouldn't want to be someone who would say this is how I write my book in this type of way, but then whenever you read my book, that's not how I am preaching to the choir. So yeah, that's understandable. I can totally understand of not wanting to watch AuthorTubers be kind of hypocritical. If you are a writer who is wanting to do AuthorTube videos and is wanting to do writing tutorials, then make sure that you know what you're talking about. I totally understand that writing tutorials is a great way of having people find your channel. I love writing tutorials. I feel like without writing tutorials that I would not be as strong of a writer that I am now today, because I have learned so much from AuthorTubers out there spreading their knowledge and their ways. Like, I know there's so many how-to tutorials on how to outline or how to write a scene or how to build character development. I know there's lots of videos out there. But that doesn't mean that I want to stop seeing these videos just because we've already seen these before. This is how I love AuthorTube, because everyone is coming from a different point of view. Everyone has a different process and a different way about writing. And so I love seeing different people's perspectives of what they do and how they think something should be, because we all have different ideas, and I want to be building up everyone's ideas and sharing our ideas, which means that I do not want how-to writing tutorials to stop. I love how-to tutorials, but it does go to say that I don't want it to be where there's how-to writing tutorials of where people are just being repetitive over and over and over and are somewhat copying other people's how-to tutorials that they had seen a while back. It's fine that you're doing your own version of it, but make it to where it's more you. Make it to where it's something that you strictly believe and that is something different and fresh for your viewers to watch. Don't be recycling things just because you saw this worked for so-and-so. I mean, if you want to use someone's topic of what they had said in a video, then by all means go ahead and do that, but put your own spin on it. Be giving out a slightly different info than what you had already seen before, because that's what's going to make people stay. People will stay for something new and something different that they're not used to seeing before. Because of all this AuthorTube tea that's been spilling, I do not want how-to writing tutorials to go away. I just want it to be where if it's a topic that has been done to death before, make it your own, make it something fun and exciting and something fresh. Put your own little special dash of magic on it, and then that way people will be able to find you and like you for your magic that you put into your work. And so keep up with the writing tutorials, but just make sure that you're not recycling content like crazy, and try and make it to where you will be putting those elements that you are discussing in your videos to the test whenever you are publishing your own books. I am always a slurper. Oh my gosh. I hope everything that I'm saying so far has been making sense. This has been completely just me talking. I have no script. I have no bullet points to go over. I am just talking and spilling the thoughts but not the tea. I'm just wanting to be talking about tea, but not spilling it. Oh, and one more thing I do want to touch on is that if you are someone who wants to be an AuthorTuber and is wanting to be joining this wonderful writing community here on YouTube, then go for it. Please do not let any of this drama, I mean, it's drama, but I don't think it should be drama. I just feel like this was conversations that people had been wanting to be sharing with the world, and now that it's shared, it's starting to kind of blow up unnecessarily. But I do want to say that if you are someone who is wanting to join this AuthorTube community, that you should totally do it and not have this fear of backlash or worry that there's people who are going to be hating on you. Do not feel this way, because after these videos have come out, I have seen lots of people who have written in comments about how they were wanting to be AuthorTubers, but now they're not so sure. And I don't want people to be wary about joining this amazing community here, because this writing community has been so life-changing. I have loved every single minute of being in this community. I have met so many people. I have had so much more self-confidence in my writing, and I feel like that writing as a career is actually a thing for me, and I never used to believe that was going to be so. But I have been so gung-ho about the AuthorTube community in general, and just loving everyone's faces who I get to see every single week, talking about this wonderful craft and this wonderful art that we all like to talk about. But I don't want anyone to be thinking that I have any ill will towards people who have been talking about these AuthorTube spilling videos, tea spilling videos, because I don't. Everyone has their own right to be talking about whatever they want to talk about in their videos. It's their channel, so they can say anything that comes to mind. I totally respect everything that these wonderful women have said and have pointed out, because I do think that AuthorTube can continue to grow, and growing just makes our community stronger and better in the long run. I totally respect everyone's opinions, and I just hope that you all respect mine, and hope that you don't hate on me for talking about this, because I'm very nervous about posting controversial stuff, and so we'll see how this goes. I just want this community to continue being such a loving support group for anyone out there who is just wanting to write their book. I want this to be a place of joy and not a place of fear of joining. You know what I mean? I just want this to be where everyone is able to join and everyone would be excited to join, because joining this community has been the best thing I've ever done. With that being said, I really hope you liked this video, and if you did, feel free to give me a big thumbs up below, and also feel free to subscribe to my channel, because I post writing related videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And y'all should totally follow me on social media, where you can keep up with anything I am doing for NaNoWriMo coming up. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Brooke Passmore. I hope to be posting a lot throughout the November month of writing stuff. And thank you all so much for stopping by today, and I will see you next time. Bye!